Yes, sir.
Our most gracious Heavenly Father, I'd like to take this opportunity to approach your Lord and learn much more. If you help us say the right thing, do the right thing, be pleased with your name's sake. Guide, direction, everything we say in your glory. Bless each home represented there and here, and all of Boston. Forgive us for many sins. Watch over us, God, and keep us from evil. I'm stepping down to your lawful throne now, Joe. God, thanks for all this, because I know you're going to take care of us. I ask you these things in your son Jesus' precious holy name. Amen. Thank you, Lord. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Tommy. Starting to have our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all. Michelle, before we do our public forum, we have a special guest here. We'd like to honor Mr. Buddy Killian. All right. Thank you for all his many years. But also with his key to the city, so he can come in and do whatever he needs to whenever he's ready. There you go.
Well deserved.
We all have memories of Mr. Killian and the times that we've spent, and all the community people you've helped, and putting people through school, and letting me drive your Corvette when I was a little kid. I used to wash his Corvette every week. I'd have done it for free if he'd have just bargained a little bit. But thank you very much. We're gonna have refreshments after, if anybody wants to, check out now. It might be a little bit of a lengthy meeting, but, we're here to socialize right after, but we'll get down to business and then get back to visiting. You want me to put that on the table for you? If you want to, I know you tried to get out of school board at one point. But we're gonna have a little business to conduct here. Thank you. Michelle, do we have a few people signed up to speak?
Yes, sir. The first one up is Miss Rose McLean.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rose. Remember, before you started, we only have 3 minutes, and we're not at liberty to make comments back or make any kind of discussions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to the City Council for allowing me to speak on behalf of the Wascom Chamber. I just wanted to share that we have successfully received 4 resumes in our resume Dropbox, and we've got 2 of them scheduled with interviews in hopes that we are able to place them here locally for our job placement. So this seems to be working, and we wanted to share the good news about that. The next is we have a lunch and learn scheduled with the Texas Comptroller. She's gonna come in and talk about sales tax and how it's calculated and where the funding goes and whatnot. And we invite the citizens of Wascom to join in our lunch and learn. It will be in August 20th. I do have signups for that, as well as we have an economic development course coming in October that will be taught by the governor's office, and that will be in October at First Baptist Church. So if you would like to sign up for that, you are all welcome as well for that event. So if you are interested, please come see me. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ms. Rose.
All right, and next up is Mr. James.
Good evening, City Council. I'm here on behalf of McBride Operating. My name is James Stegroth. I've lived in East Texas all of my life. I'm here tonight to speak directly and personally about the McBride Operating and express why it would be a serious mistake for the city of Wascom to signal in any way that the facility is no longer welcome here. It isn't just a business to me. It's personal, it's professional, and it's deeply connected to my life I've built here in this East Texas area. I own a trucking company that's local here. I support a couple of families with that trucking company, and my trucks work for McBride Operating on a daily basis. My wife is currently employed with them, and we've lived right behind that facility for some time now, and, so I know the people, I know the operation, I know the value it brings, not just to my family, but to many others who are directly impacted by its presence. McBride is a first-class operation, and their presence in Waskom brings value and goes far beyond finances. It's measured in jobs, it's opportunity and stability it provides for the people and the working families that are there. Economically, their impact is clear. Beyond tax revenue that they generate, McBride employees spend their money right here fueling up, eating, shopping, and supporting the local businesses. That money stays in Waskom, and it strengthens this community. Operationally, McBride plays a critical role in keeping the drilling cost manageable, and that has a direct impact on fuel prices. Without the facility in Waskom, the drivers are forced to travel hours away from their homes, hours away from their families, to go to another facility to get rid of that waste product. This is not just inconvenient, it's expensive. Every extra hour on the road means more diesel burned, more wear and tear on trucks, more drivers' hours paid, more downtime for the rigs waiting on disposal. Those costs don't just disappear. They get added to the cost of drilling a well, and when drilling becomes more expensive, that cost is passed down the line, eventually hitting all of us, the consumer, at the gas pumps. This is a real specific example of how local infrastructure like McBride helps keep fuel prices in check, and it's not abstract, it's measurable, and it matters. This facility also supports local jobs for many truck drivers, small businesses, that their work is this work is their bread and butter. There's guys out there that's who they haul for on a daily basis. Shutting it down doesn't just impact McBride, it affects the livelihoods and countless others who rely on this operation. I've seen the helicopters fly over and the photos circulated to stir doubt, but I've also seen the reality on the ground. McBride Operating runs a professional, well-managed facility, plays a vital role in this region. Attempts to discredit their work often come from the lack of understanding or context, not from facts. This truth is the facility supports families, businesses, and workers, people who both directly and indirectly depend on it every day. Shutting it down based on speculation or misrepresentation would not only be unjust, it would be a serious blow to the neighborhood and the hardworking Waskom residents. This isn't about one company, it's about standing up for what's right, for the workers, for the businesses, and the community that rely on this facility every day. I respectfully ask you to consider the full picture and to listen to the voices that don't speak often, but speak up when it truly matters. Because when we do, it's not noise, it's a real experience. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, James.
And the next person is Mr. Ricky.
Good afternoon, how's everybody? My name is Ricky Johns and I'm a mechanic, and I've worked at McBride Operating as a mechanic for several years. And you know, really not here to talk about politics, I'm here to talk about the people, and the co-workers and their families, and some of them that call Waskom home, that work at McBride. McBride Operating has been more than a job for us, it's our lifeline. It's how we support our families and raise our kids and build a future. My son now works alongside me at McBride, and that really means a lot to me because I get to teach him the trade that I've known for 35 years, and I mean that's really special to me. And I know it's special to a lot of these families out here that are trying to raise their kids, and there's couples and married couples out there that work at this disposal, and they all have families and they're supporting their families. But this company has really treated us fairly. They treat us like family. I mean, I talk to him every day, and he always answers the phone. If there's a problem, he addresses it immediately. I mean, and anything that happens. And if someone needs time off, or you know, safety is a concern, or pay, it's always addressed. you know, he's made all of us feel real comfortable. And it's not, you know, that's not good business, that's good people. And if you've ever visited the site and you've seen it, you know, rain, heat, or bitter cold, I mean, we're out there, we're working. I mean, when it's raining and pouring rain and it's so cold that, you know, your fingers feel like they're about to fall off. You know, McBride has treated this, has created a workplace people want to be a part of, and it's worth protecting. And this isn't just about the company, it's about families, moms and dads trying to make an honest living, you know, about keeping their kids in school and keeping food on the table. You know, you have a choice to move forward with this process, or you can take a step back and ask the people whose lives it's gonna affect. We're not asking for special treatment, we're just asking for fairness, for a voice, for a chance to keep doing the work we're very proud of. Many of us have built our lives around the oil field and this place, you know, and we've started families here, and I've seen at least 3 in the 3 years that I've been here. I've seen 3 families started here at McBride. We're a part of this community in every way that matters. We do business, you know, where we can here, you know, some of the stuff we can't get here, so we have to get it out of town, but, I mean, it's just part of it.
Here's one, it's the 3-minute time.
Please don't make a decision that pushes us out without first standing in our shoes, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ricky. That's the full list. Well, thank y'all very much for those contributions. Now, at this point, we'd like to hear a monthly report presented by Police Chief Larry Smith.
Good afternoon, Mayor. How y'all doing? This report is for the month of June, from June 1st to June 30th. This month, Washington Police Department received 2 reports of assault, 3 reports of burglary, 3 car accidents, 2 criminal mischief, 3 criminal trespasses. We had a total of 11 disturbances, 2 disordered persons, 2 DWI arrests, 4 harassments. We had a total of 58 miscellaneous calls, 12 public service calls. We was involved in 2 pursuits. We had 1 report of sexual assault. We had reports of 6 suspicious vehicles, 5 suspicious persons. We had a report of 3 thefts. We had a report of 3 attempted suicides. We had a total of 5 walk-ins at the police department, and we did 9 welfare checks. And we did a total of 72 traffic stops with 31 citations issued. With everything involved, and to most of that I didn't mention, we had a total of 225 calls for the month.
Thank you, Chief. This time, we have our monthly report presented by Animal Control. Casey.
Evening, council and mayor. This is my monthly report for the month of June. My facility started at 20% and ended at 0%. I took 9 animals. 2 of those animals were actually surrenders from 2 bite cases I had. I released 4 animals back to their owners. Had 12 animal complaints for the month. 1 citation was issued for animal running at large. I assisted PD, fire, EMS 2 times for the month. Did 4 motor assists, for a total of 45 calls of service for the month.
Thank you. All right, we have our monthly report presented by Water and Sewer Supervisor. I'm sorry, I missed code enforcement, sorry. Damon, would you like to present our monthly report for code enforcement?
Alright, so the month of June, we put out 8 door hangers, 6 was corrected. I sent out 3 certified letters, and I signed 2 home permits.
Very good. All right, can we have our monthly report presented by Water and Sewer? Jacob, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, residents of the city. Work order report for the month of June, we had 8 leaks reported, we repaired 4 of those, 2 of those were confirmed as other issues, or customer issues. We had 1 sewer backup reported, which we resolved, that backup resulted in a sanitary sewer overflow that was reported at TCEQ. We had a, spot cited, inspection for the TCEQ that resulted in 2 wastewater violations, which is, what's on the agenda today. We had 9 meter reread requests, 6 account changes or new services, 4 turnoffs or lockouts, 1 no water report, 2 water quality issues. Were resolved, previous sewer and drain, or not sewer and drain, streets and drain issues, with the Lori Lane crossing. The work has been completed there, we still have to do a final walkthrough and punch list on it. We have 1 request to pick up limbs and 7 general inquiries. As far as our pumping and loss accountability, we pumped 7,956,000 gallons of water. We sold 3,982,500 gallons of water. We were able to account for 2,909,000 gallons due to leaks, 44,000 due to flushing, 3,900 gallons due to fire department meter usage, 203,000 gallons for wastewater plant operations. Total accounted for gallons was 7,142,400 gallons with a percent loss of 10%, which is improvement from last month of 28%, I believe.
That's a great improvement. Thank you, Jake, for working on all that, appreciate it. So, all right, at this point, can we have an approval for the minutes of the previous meeting?
I'd like to motion we approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Opposed? Anybody like to make a motion to approve the payment of the current bills, this month's current bills?
Let me pay the bills, boss.
I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? We'd like to consider and take action on the approval of the investment report quarter ending 6/30/2025.
I'll make a motion that we accept or approval of the investment report ending on 6/30/2025.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Oh, yeah. No.
All right, we need to, at this point, consider and take action on the repair of well number 4. Jake, would you like to tell us about that one?
On our daily checks, we found that well number 4, the motor was running, but the pump wasn't pumping any water. So we, jumped on it with it being the summer, got with the mayor and we approved to move forward on repairing the well. I got a company out of, Central Texas, came over, Jurgensen Pumps, and they did the work for us. For a total of, they replaced the pump and motor, they replaced 84 feet of the down piping, the wires, so it's basically brand new. The casing's the oldest thing on it. The total on that was, well,
$10,194.
there you go.
I have a motion to approve that payment. The work has already been done, completed. It was, more of an emergency type situation to make sure we keep our water volumes up.
I'll make a motion, we place repairs on the pump, in the amount of $10,194.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Opposed? All right, we'd like to consider and take action on the purchase of new fence around the Fur Road lift station. This was one of the violations that we had on the TCQ audit, correct, Jacob?
Correct.
All right. Has this work been completed?
No.
Okay. We had to get this done within the 30-day grace period of their letter, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
When was their letter?
I don't have that date. Was it the 20th maybe? When did they submit that letter?
It's the last page in y'all's quote packet.
Well, that's the email. The letter was dated, June 14th, so July 14th. Grace. Now, I received, 3 quotes on this. I didn't really, since it's a kind of a small job, I figured it could wait for, council approval. We got a quote from Southern Fence, which was recommended by Gum Springs Water Supply Corporation. They use them a lot. They're familiar with DCQ, requirements on fences around lift stations. Their quote came in at $4,490. I got a quote from, Bobby Luster, which is a resident here in town. His quote was $5,250. And a quote from Beaver's Fence Company, which is out of Scottsville, and their quote was $5,500. Obviously, the $4,490 quote from Southern Fence Company is who I would recommend, just mainly. for
It's
the
all the
pri-
same
the
fence,
price
all
is
the same
same.
cyclone with the wire
Yeah,
on
it's
top.
well, it's 8-foot fence. I got quoted 8-foot fence because, there's no barbed wire to contend with.
Okay.
And that meets the requirements of TCEQ.
Is it the heavy duty, fence? I mean, what gauge are we talking?
It's commercial grade.
It doesn't say gauge, it just says commercial grade chain link. so.
Yeah, I just wanted to know that
Yeah,
somebody.
the posts are heavy wall, and then the chain link is commercial grade chain link.
With gate. With the drive-through gate, so.
Correct.
Do I have a motion to approve one of these quotes?
I make a motion that we, allow Southern Fence Company LLC to put the new fence around the, Fur Road lift station in the amount of $4,490.
I second. All those in favor? Opposed? At this point, we have consider and take action on allowing Attorney Josh Manis to represent the city of Wascom on the disclosure in the McBride Operating LLC request and completing the interrogatory questionnaire. Mr. Manis, would you like to come
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm gonna have to take some notes, so I'm
include
gonna
us on what's going on?
sit down, if that's all right.
That's fine.
So in February of this year, the Railroad Commission of Texas denied McBride's 5-year permit. They've since appealed that, that's why they're still open to this day. That letter was provided to the commission, I know by Ms. Rochelle. So that appeal hearing is now coming up, and it will probably be later this summer. And if any party had protested that application before it was denied, then they have a proverbial seat at the table, if they have standing, to come to the hearing and state their piece. Prior to that, McBride's lawyers sent the city a list of questions. So if you wish to continue, we've got to answer those and get them back to the McBride lawyers. So that's why I'm here, to talk to the city commission about certain of these questions and what the city's position is.
Okay.
So with that, we'll get started.
Let's get started.
Okay.
Hey Josh, before you start, council, can y'all please make a motion to accept allowing Attorney Manis to represent us in this matter?
I make a motion that we allow Attorney Manis to represent us in this.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Okay, and I got with Mr. Jacob earlier today to help you a little bit. The center of the dark blue is the McBride facility. The dark blue is a half a mile. The light blue is 1 mile. As y'all know, the city is east of there. So then Jacob and I got together. So where the red dots are, and that's my artwork, I apologize. Those are where 6 of your water wells are. So 6 of them are, I'm sorry, 2 of them are within the 1 mile radius. So also, y'all also provided a copy of a letter that Mayor Moore wrote back in November. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that essentially, when I read the letter to assist you guys, that Mayor Moore's concern was primarily with the groundwater, so that's why I provided you the map. Okay. The first question they asked is admit you're not an adjoining property owner. I would think that's correct. The city doesn't own any property, correct?
Not to my knowledge. Jacob, you know?
Not adjoining.
Not adjoining.
Then the city also does not own any property within a half mile, which would be the blue. 1 mile, I would deny. Looks like y'all had 2 water wells located within the 1 mile radius.
Do we own the land?
I don't
Those
know
wells?
if you own the land or if you just have an easement to get to your water, but you certainly own your well bore.
Yeah, we own the well, so.
We own the well, but we might not own the land, because we have, granted right of ways.
It's an easement.
It's an easement to it, so we do not own that land.
And we can answer it that way,
Okay.
with an explanation that the city has water wells under an easement agreement with the landowner. So we would admit to it subject to the water wells. That's how I would answer
Okay.
it.
However, you recommend that.
That's why, you're kind of explaining
Right, sure.
if it's there. Admit you have no firsthand knowledge of any alleged permit violation at the McBride Wascom Waste Separation Facility. So firsthand knowledge would be as if one of y'all were out there were a witness, or somebody from TCEQ or the Railroad Commission came forward and actually showed you pictures or things of that nature.
None to my knowledge.
Okay. It would help me, so everything you know is what you've heard through presentations from either citizens. I know Mr. Cargill's come forth, or maybe there was newspaper articles, things said on social media. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Number 6, admit that you have not been harmed by any alleged permit violation at the McBride Wascom Waste Separation Facility. So this harm probably in relation to a city would be economic harm or growth harm. Some company come forth and said, we're not gonna move here, or a potential resident said, I'm not gonna buy a house here because of this facility.
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
Can anybody think of any harms? Other than the letter from the Railroad Commission that was given to the city, and then the letter written by Mayor Moore, does the city have any other documents related to this issue?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
Interrogatories. These are just basically a fancy word for questions. The first one is we've got to identify everybody answering, and I've got all your names already. I'm just gonna list them that y'all held an official meeting. The second one is if you decide to actually go to go to Austin and attend the hearing. So you don't have to make that decision today. You can make that down the road. If you know now, you can always amend later of who you would send down there, such as to state the city's position, whatever it might be. All of you, or Mayor Sloan, or Ms. Rochelle. If you know now, we can answer it. If not, we can amend later.
I don't think we know at this point.
Okay.
Rochelle, would you agree with that?
All right, number 3, to the extent not already provided in response to a previous interrogatory, please identify any adverse effect that you claim will result from the approval of the application. I know the letter talks about potential water contamination. But do you know of anything else other than water contamination?
We have, I mean, I personally have heard, residents of the city of Waskom and business owners of the city of Waskom, make mention of the, I guess condensate smell that is often smelled on the west end of town out here.
Sure.
I'm not sure if it's related to, to the disposal there or not. I mean, I have no idea, but I know I smell the same smell when I drive by the disposal.
Okay.
So, I can't say that it's definitely gonna harm me, but I can say that the smell's bad, and if it smells bad, it probably is bad, so.
And another thing is anyone going into the catfish place out there, it smells awful.
I believe that facility is separate apart, that's the Top Cat
That's the Top
facility.
Cat facility, that's not the McBride.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's another facility within our, our area. There's several in the area where we all, get rid. I didn't know.
So we can certainly put down the smell, if that's the consensus of the commission, smell issue.
Is that y'all's consensus? It smells not a factor for me, so. That's it.
not for me either.
Okay. If there is no adverse effect, then we can put none.
Well, the only adverse effect would be if there was a contamination in the water, but if
Okay.
there,
To date, there's, to my knowledge, I've talked to Mr. Jacob, there has been no contamination of Waskom city water.
So then there's been no effect to our.
Do y'all wanna answer none or potential water contamination? And the only reason why I mentioned that is because the letter from the Railroad Commission, who has these experts, they talk about potential for water contamination repeatedly of why they denied the permit.
I think that needs to be there.
Okay. And I'm not an expert on
It can happen.
city governance, do y'all need to vote or?
Michelle, we need to vote on that. Somebody like to make a motion to list the one adverse effect being potential of contamination to, these two water wells?
I make the motion.
Yeah.
Second?
Second.
Alright. All in favor? Opposed?
Okay.
Potential.
All right, it says, please identify the factual basis for that contention. Obviously, you have the February 14th letter from the governing authority of the Railroad Commission. Is there any other, materials or things you relied upon in coming up with that conclusion of the potential for water contamination?
No, sir.
Okay. Interrogatory number 5 is identify all the water wells. Jacob's given me that information. I've already provided it to the McBride lawyers. For each well, explain in detail what adverse effect each well will potentially suffer and why. What I would suggest you do is just refer back to interrogatory number 4, where it says, number 3, potential for water contamination. They're asking the same question the second time. Lawyers are kind of notorious for that. So I can't think of anything else other than water contamination unless the board members have something.
Can I ask a question here?
Sure you can, right?
Absolutely.
Alright, does that?
I'm here to assist y'all, so.
Okay,
right.
well, my thought process here, and I already look like a dummy once, so we'll not put it down twice today. But people who live out of our city limits out there,
Yes, ma'am.
do they have Waskom rural water? Do they have their own well water? And my question would be, what is the possibility of their well water being contaminated? How does that fall into play?
So I'll answer it as I know, but I'm certainly not a hydrologist. If they have their own well water, it's probably gonna be at a similar depth to the city water. And so if it's one aquifer, and Mr. Jacob can also, he knows way more about it than I do, so if there's a contamination, regardless of whether it was them or somebody else, it's gonna affect all the groundwater water wells in the area. And everybody's either gonna be on Waskom City Water, Waskom Rural Water Supply, or they're gonna own their own well.
Right. So there is that possibility.
But that's not for us to.
No, but I'm just saying, so.
That is all.
All right, number 7. Did I answer that correctly, Mr. Jacob?
Yeah.
Okay. To the extent not already provided in response to previous questions, identify any reason you claim the application should be denied. I can't think of anything to assist you with that.
I have nothing for that. I do not want it denied if it's not, you know, if they're full compliance, saltwater's a problem, we have to get rid of it, or the economic impact of oil and gas comes to a screeching halt. But, you know, do it in compliance with the way the Railroad Commission says do it.
And we can answer it that way. We can put none, you know, the city respectfully requests that McBride be in compliance with Railroad Commission rules. You can do that. And that message can be delivered in person, but also in a written statement, so McBride understands where you're at.
Michelle, do we need a vote on that?
Yes, just to be safe.
Do we need to repeat it, or are we in agreement? Alright, it was that, you know, if McBride there's no need to pull their permit if they're operating in compliance with what the Railroad Commission has laid out in the guidelines for health and safety of the environment, right?
Sounds good to me.
Do we have a motion to approve? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Number 8, if you assert that you may suffer actual injury or economic damage other than as a member of the general public, if the application were to be approved, explain in detail the basis for such assertion. I will tell you, we discussed this yesterday with the Wascom Rural Water Supply, and how they answered, because the issues are very, very similar. They're different than y'all are in an entire city, but this is just to do with your groundwater. And the answer that the Wascom Rural Water Supply gave was, if, again, it's an if, and that's probably why the Railroad Commission wants them to be in compliance, so there never is the if, that the damages would be essentially, if the groundwater was contaminated, the Wascom Rural Water Supply would lose all of their water. They would have to call Lee Water or somewhere and buy water to provide to their taps. So I don't know if that would be a similar situation.
Is that the only 2 wells? Do they just have 2 wells right in here, or?
That's correct. They're limited to
So
2
they're
wells.
limited.
They have 2 wells on Odin Drive.
Okay. And Jacob, how many wells do we have currently pumping?
9.
9.
Are they all in the same aquifer though? That's the question.
Yes, they all come.
So if they contaminate an aquifer, it would contaminate all of our wells.
And to be clear, the aquifer goes from Arkansas down
Yeah, yeah, I
to the Rio Grande.
I understand,
It's
yeah.
a large
Oh, yeah, I
aquifer.
understand.
Yeah.
That question came up yesterday, and there would probably be a contamination plume. Would it be the entire aquifer? You know, I doubt it. I'm sure the plume would have boundaries that would be discovered. Hopefully it would be smaller than bigger.
Mhm.
But you have the 3 that you have that are not on the map. I think they're on the far east side of town. So just for sake of time, I didn't map them for you. But I don't, because I also don't think that an administrative law judge, if the city goes down there, is gonna be concerned with them. They're gonna be concerned with the ones that are in that
Yeah,
vicinity,
yeah.
right?
Most likely 5 to 10 mile vicinity.
Sir?
Most likely a 5 to 10 mile vicinity, depending on the hydrogeological study on confined areas of the aquifer and unconfined areas of the aquifer.
Okay.
So back to the question, I don't know if, and again, this may be a Jacob question, if you lost, say, 3 of these wells that are close to it, can your other 6 wells supply the city where, you know, you wouldn't have a total loss of water supply? I just don't know that, or are you fully tapped out? So.
We will be more tapped out. We are currently under an alternative capacity rule with the city, because of our production gallons per minute for the wells. So we're under what the rule requires, so we're on an alternative rule. The rule requires us to have 0.6 gallons per minute per connection. We are on a 0.36 alternative rule currently. So, I mean, we need more wells already.
So the only thing I can offer to you as a potential answer is, because it's speculative, and the rules know that, because the damage has not occurred, hopefully that day never does happen. Is that the only damage I can see, at least in terms of the water department, is you'd have to drill new wells or buy water from some other supply to meet the demands of your customers, and I can craft an answer basically stating that.
Well, if we lose any wells, I think we're gonna have a major problem, because we've had, water well drilling companies that are here in the past, and I can't remember how many holes we punched trying to find
water.
water for, so that we could have additional water, and we couldn't find it. So, I mean, and I don't think the situation's got any better as far as that goes. But, I think it would definitely hurt the city of Washington if we lost a well.
Well, certainly, we can craft an answer that says the loss of, the city does not have any excess capacity.
Correct, no excess
Okay.
capacity to sell you, the loss of a well would hurt our water.
A loss of a well is gonna mean funds are expended. What that is, too hard to tell now. And at the end, tomorrow, hopefully, at some point in time, Mayor Sloan, if you're around, you'll come over and sign a document, basically just verifying these were the answers, so that you're gonna look at it one more time, I'm taking notes and I'm gonna type it all in.
Very good.
Okay, explain how you learned about the application and what prompted you to protest the application. Again, I really don't know why. I will tell you my thought process on this is trying to assist you. I don't find it relevant at all to whether or not McBride Operating is either in compliance or not in compliance. That's just gonna be an issue that the Railroad Commission is gonna send inspectors down and determine either yes or no. I think what it primarily is that McBride wants to, the very major opponent of this, as y'all know, is Mr. Jerry Cargill. So that's why they're asking the question. Otherwise, and if that's how the city found out about the application, that's fine, that's the answer. But I'll just give you that background of why they even asked, because it's published in the newspaper. Every drilling permit in Texas, you can go find. You can even go find how much oil or gas the producing wells do on a monthly basis. It's all public record.
That's how I learned about it. Mr. Jerry Cargill came and in the public forum.
Okay, at a city meeting?
At a city meeting, yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't remember how many months back it was, maybe many months ago.
Okay. Anybody else other than Mr. Cargill, did they become aware of it through any other means? Smell, social media, newspaper article? It's in real fine print, the back of the newspaper. Most people miss those. Don't tell Mr. Richardson that.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all that's asked. I have all the other materials. I'm gonna get them ready to send back to the McBride lawyers, hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow. So I will call Mr. Sloan, during the day to come over and review them to make sure they're accurate. If y'all have any other questions for me, most of you have my number. If you don't, you can get it. And feel free to call me, shoot me an email. Be glad to assist you.
Well, Mr. Manis, thank you very much for coming in and walking us through this.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, John.
So I guess we've already voted on.
You're good. You can move to the next line item.
Okay, item number 14, consider and take action on the repair of the alarm indicator at Martha Street lift station.
Yeah, this is the result of the other.
The second violation?
Yeah, Then you have to have, showing high levels. This Martha lift station, as far as I can tell, is the oldest lift station in town. There was not a proper control panel, there with an alarm system built into it. So I had a quote from, Interstate Specialty to install a proper control panel for the pump that's in there, with float systems and the alarm float and the alarm line, that's required.
I missed the first part of that. Did you say that the repair has already been completed, or it needs to be completed?
No, they still need to be completed. I'm waiting on lead time on the control panel.
Okay, and again, we're still in our 30 days now, to have the violation fixed, right?
Correct. We move forward with this because of the lead time on parts on the control panel to arrive.
Okay.
So the total for that was $4,991.18.
And did we only get one bid for that?
Yeah.
do I have a motion to, approve making the repair to the alarm indicator on the Martha Street lift station?
I make a motion that we repair the alarm indicator at Martha Street lift station and that Interstate Specialty LLC do it at a cost of $4,991.18.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Chief, we, at this time, we have action item number 15, consider and take action on the purchase of new radios for the police department.
I asked the, city council to, pass on this to next month. That was a new increase from Motorola on July 1st, and I have yet received an accurate quote. The quote I have, ended June the 30th.
Okay.
So if we can pass it on to next month, then I'll address it month. But I will contact each one of y'all in relation to the new radio system. As you know, most of it, Harrison County's on just, and our radios are analog, so we have to go to a digital type of radios.
Right,
That's what.
they enforce through that, so. Do I have a motion to table, 15?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much. Consider and take action on renewing the 3-month CD, special rate from Verabake. Rochelle, would you like to tell us about our special rate?
Here lately, every 3 months, we've had to change our CD because the special rate decreases after its maturity date, and the new one is 4.15% interest return
Okay.
compared to the 2.5.
Excellent. Motion to approve?
I move that we approve it.
Second? Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, this time we need to consider and take action on the maximum contribution, to the Wascom Public Library project.
I make a motion that we table this for now.
Table this or the purchase? The maximum budget.
So how much money we got to give the library, Keith? I know you've been looking at the budget and
So,
everything.
so what we've looked at is, we were hoping we could have a budget of around 300,000, 305-ish, being it's a 1,900 square foot building. We reached out to a couple of home builders, we did a stick frame construction on this, I think is what we determined we're gonna do. And they're coming in at around $155 a foot, so that puts us somewhere between 302 and 310, for our budget. We got a soft bid that was considerably higher than that, but we need more details as far as window and door schedules and alarm needs and things like that. So that bid was padded to make sure all those features were covered, and that could be reduced. So that's what we're hoping for. So, you know, in the 300 range is where we'd really like to stay for construction. We're waiting on the Talker Grant Foundation, supposed to be in the middle of this month. And that'll be what covers all our fixtures and information tables and books, shelves and tables and everything else.
Furniture.
And all the furniture, yeah, furniture, fixtures.
Yeah, everything basically on the inside after.
Everything on the
Yeah.
inside, we're hoping that the Talker Foundation will cover, through their generous grants, and then we need to figure out, what we're gonna spend on the brick and mortar part.
And I wanna move to limit it at 305, just to, you know, if we need to go more than that, we need to talk about it.
Okay. So we'll send it to bids, move forward with the architectural drawing, see if we can get some more solid bids. for that. Okay. I'd like to make a motion for that. Anybody else have any more information or questions?
I make a motion that we approve a $305,000 payout from the city. And I don't know if I can interject this in here, but we need to get with an architect, that's gonna cost us some more money to get it laid out so that we can get proper bids on it.
Right, what we're planning on doing is taking the groundwork that Kyle has already done, and then finishing out, you know, electrical and everything else, whatever, you know, the remainder
Right.
of what needs to be done to shore up the plans, cause he's done the base of it, and we just need to have the final details.
Right.
So, and if we get to where we figure out what our budget looks like, what we're gonna spend on it, then we can get that next step closer. Get,
We'll
hopefully,
get it moving along.
get it moving along, right, so do we need to make another motion?
Yes,
Right,
on
so-
what the maximum city
So-
contribution will be.
So, I move to make the maximum city contribution $305,000.
I second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Alright, number 18, consider and take action on the purchase of 685 West Texas Avenue for the new Wascom Public Library.
I move that we table that for now.
Second.
All those in favor of tabling item number 18, considering and taking action on the purchase of the 685 West Texas Avenue for the new Wascom Public Library, all those in favor? Opposed? Table. Action item number 19, adjournment.
I think it's supposed to be adjourned on that.
Do I have a second?
Second that.
Alright, all those in favor? Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Tommy, we appreciate
You
it.
heading home, or you got time for a bite to eat?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Hold on one second, guys. We look forward to having you.
Absolutely.
Sure will, feel better.
Go get it somewhere.
You got it.